Hey folks, this is immigration attorney Hassan Abdullah, hailing from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm preparing this video to go over the issue of writ of mandamus and 1447B complaints. Now, first of all, what is a writ of mandamus complaint? Why would you file a writ of mandamus complaint? Well, there are people out there who have filed applications with immigration, and their application is pending beyond what is reasonable. USCIS publishes their processing times for various types of cases. And if your case is outside of normal processing time, you should be following up with immigration. But sometimes these cases get stalled for a very long time. You know, a normal processing time for an adjustment of status, it shouldn't be anything more than a year. But sometimes there are necessary background checks which will delay the case a little bit. But sometimes what immigration does is they'll delay your case for several years. And the basic thing is, a case I would say is ripe for a writ of mandamus complaint, particularly an adjustment of status, a green card application. It is ripe for writ of mandamus after 2 years. That's roughly a guide that we use when we're deciding when we want to file a writ of mandamus complaint. And basically, what a writ of mandamus complaint is it's an application that you file with the district court that has jurisdiction over the case, which will compel USCIS to take action because they're not acting within a reasonable amount of time. See, the federal regulations in question which govern USCIS specifically require USCIS to act within a reasonable time. And when it goes outside of that requirement, outside of that mandate, what you may do is you may file a complaint with in the district court. And you know, it's a very effective tool. We've generally found great success using writ of mandamus complaints to get immigration to take action. You know, these background checks, they may be FBI background checks, name checks, fingerprint checks, criminal background checks. But when it goes past a certain period of time, and for adjustment of status, I would say 2 years, that is beyond any reasonable amount of time, and it would be ripe for writ of mandamus. Now, 1447B is specifically tailored. It's a regulation that's specifically tailored to naturalization, applying for citizenship. If you had an interview and more than 120 days passed from your interview date and USCIS has still not adjudicated your case, you may file a 1447B complaint. And what that does is it basically acts the same as a mandamus case, but it's tailored for naturalization. And it's fast. It's, you know, if 120 days pass, 4 months, you can get to file this case and push your case along. Sometimes it might open up a can of worms. You're going to have to speak with your immigration attorney and explain all of the details, all of your background, just so that you know what you're getting into. Because it's not always a good idea to file a 1447B. It's not always a good idea to file a writ of mandamus, even if your case is ripe for a complaint. Sometimes we might not recommend that you file it. Sometimes it might be even though 2 years has passed, we still might not even recommend it, because it might open up an inquiry that we don't want it to. So that's why it's important to talk to someone who's experienced and who knows how to file these cases and has been successful in filing these cases. Now, as for the procedure, there is a filing fee. There's a 300 when you file any case with the district court. Currently, it's a $350 filing fee, and basically, you know, you might even be able to find some templates, but it's really important that you have an attorney file this for you, because there's certain procedural requirements that you don't want to miss, and you have to have done this process before, so that you know what you're doing, because it's a lot of trouble to figure it out by yourself. Even though the nature of a mandamus complaint is pretty simple, they've gone outside of normal processing time, significantly outside of normal processing time. And USCIS is not doing what they're supposed to be doing as a federal agency. You also have to document it, because basically writ of mandamus is only available when you have shown that you have exhausted all administrative remedies, administrative routes to clear up any of these, clear up this delay. So what you're going to want to do, here's some practical advice. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to do InfoPass appointments. You're going to need to make and track the number. You're going to get you're going to actually visit the local USCIS office and make these inquiries through InfoPass. You should also make phone inquiries and get service numbers, and keep a log of all of your efforts. And another thing that you really would really help your mandamus case is make congressional inquiries. Contact your congressperson, contact your senator. Do that a few times before you file your writ of mandamus complaint, if you really want a well-documented, well-supported case. And then we're going to include those as exhibits to show that you've been at your wit's end, you've been trying everything to get this resolved, but it's not working. And then that would make the case very strong for a writ of mandamus complaint. And you should be very confident in your chances of success if you have a really well-documented case, as I'm suggesting, as I'm recommending. So there's hope out there for people who are just waiting and waiting, and immigration, for whatever reason, is dragging their heels on their case, on your case. So I just wanted to make this video so that people realize that they do have an option, and that there is relief to this problem. So I hope you found this video to be helpful. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.